Everyone has one. That tiny digital clock tattooed on your wrist, counting down to your last breath. Mine said 23 years for months, 17 days, 6 hours. It was a constant hum, a gentle reminder of the finish line. We all lived by it, planned around it, finding comfort in the predictable end. Until one Tuesday morning, I woke up and the world tilted on its axis. The numbers on my arm, the ones that had always marched steadily towards zero, weren't counting down anymore. They were going up. 23 years, for months, 17 days, 6 hours, 1 second. Then 2 seconds. And it kept going. My heart stopped. My future, my finite, precious future, had just shattered into an infinite, terrifying unknown. The mirror showed a stranger. My own face, twisted with a terror I'd never known. I scrubbed at my wrist, rubbed until the skin was raw, as if I could physically erase the impossible truth. But the numbers persisted, glowing faintly, stubbornly, mockingly. My reflection wasn't just showing me panic, it was showing utter isolation. Everyone else's timer marched forward, predictable, finite. Mine had rebelled. I called my doctor, stammering through a hysterical explanation. He thought I was delusional, maybe having a breakdown. I watched his own wrist, the number ticking down, 47 years. He couldn't possibly understand. No one could. I was suddenly an anomaly, a glitch in a grand design, and the universe felt impossibly vast and cold. I tried to live normally. Went to work, had coffee, walked through the park. But every interaction was a minefield. I glanced at my friend Sarah's wrist, 12 years. My boss's, 7 months. Each ticking second felt like a stolen moment from them, a moment that was now adding to my own impossible burden. How do you look someone in the eye, knowing their clock is steadily winding down, while yours is spinning out of control? The silence was deafening. I wanted to scream, to tell them, to beg for answers. But what would I say? My death date is gone, replaced by a number that climbs higher every second? They'd pity me, fear me, or worse, dismiss me as insane. So I smiled, nodded, and kept the terrifying secret locked inside, a lead weight in my chest. My old dreams, once so clear, turned to dust. I'd planned to travel the world, to write that novel, to maybe someday settle down and build a family. All within that finite window of my original timer. Now, what was the point? If I lived forever, or for an impossibly long time, every accomplishment would be a fleeting speck in an endless expanse. Every connection, a heartbreak waiting to happen as I watched them fade away century after century. The very concept of legacy became a cruel joke. I started avoiding old friends, the ones who knew my original timer. The guilt of my gift felt like a betrayal. I was a ghost walking among the living, tethered to a body that wouldn't quit, haunted by a future I couldn't escape, yet couldn't define. Days blurred into weeks, then months. I found myself drawn to places I never would have gone before. Hospitals, hospices, silent gatherings. Not to volunteer, not to help, but just to watch. To witness the end that was denied to me. To see the solace people found in their countdowns, the way it focused their lives, the acceptance in their eyes as their numbers dwindled. A fragile old woman, her timer at 3 days, holding her grandchild's hand, smiling with pure contentment. A young man, 2 months left, laughing harder than anyone I knew. They were living, truly living, because they knew the end was coming. I was just existing, a silent, morbid observer, trying to understand what it meant to have a finite story, when mine seemed to stretch into eternity. Then, one day, a young woman, no older than me, approached me in the park. She held out her hand, palm up, and there it was, on her inner wrist, not a countdown, but a series of swirling, intricate patterns like constellations. "No timer," she whispered, her eyes meeting mine, filled with an understanding I hadn't seen in anyone else. Mine never appeared. They call us the blanks. We're the ones who don't know when. She explained how they found each other, a small, hidden community of unknowns, learning to live without the ticking reminder. She saw my arm, saw the impossible upward count, and for the first time, someone didn't recoil. She simply nodded. So, she said gently, "You're counting up? We're counting nothing. Maybe we're not so different after all." Her words, "maybe we're not so different," echoed in my mind, a fragile melody of truth. We talked for hours, sharing stories of fear, isolation, and the unique burden of an unknown future. The blanks, they chose to live fully, to embrace uncertainty, to build meaning where there was no predetermined end. My timer was counting up, yes, but it wasn't counting to anything. It was just accumulating. Perhaps it was a different kind of blankness. A blank slate, a perpetual beginning. The terror began to recede, replaced by a strange, exhilarating sense of freedom. If my story had no end, then every single second, every decision became infinitely more significant. It wasn't about avoiding death anymore. It was about truly living. My timer still counts. Upwards, relentlessly, a monument to the unknown. But the fear is gone, replaced by a strange, exhilarating peace. I don't have a deadline. I have an invitation. An invitation to redefine purpose, to embrace the vastness of time not as a burden, but as an opportunity. Every second added isn't a step further from death, but a step deeper into life. To live with intention, to love without reservation, to create something lasting, even if my own story never truly ends. Because maybe, just maybe, the greatest gift isn't knowing when it stops, but understanding that every single moment, regardless of the ticking clock, is all we truly have.